this whole situation with the TikTok ban and whatnot, it has led Americans to see the truth about other countries.
Hello again, TikTok refugees on Red Note. Before I begin, please watch this short clip.
Known to Americans as Red Note, but its Chinese name, Xiaohongshu, literally translates into Little Red Book, as in Mao Zedong's Guide to Communist Ideology and Revolutionary Principles, a symbol of Chinese communist propaganda.
Alright, let's be clear. Don't fall for that bullshit. This bitch has no effing idea what she's talking about. Mao's quotation isn't even called 小红书 in Chinese. It is called 红宝书. So either she's really confused, or she's deliberately spreading misinformation to scare you Americans off. So, what I'm really trying to tell you is, I believe the Red Note is free from any kind of propaganda. So, just be yourself, do your thing, and you're bound to have a great time here.
I've been on this app for 3 days. Only 3 days. And when I tell you, the United States of America is ghetto. And I mean very ghetto. Have y'all seen the buildings in Shanghai? Have you seen the Have you seen the technology? Look at this crowd. What is that? Have you seen over there? It looks like robots built the entire country. They have officially made me feel like I am living in the Stone Age. I look at how much their apartments are. Big, huge apartment, heated marble floors. Heated marble floors. And here we are paying $1,000 for a 1-bedroom freaking apartment. And they paying like $500, and they got heated marble floors.
This is getting to be too much, man. Too ridiculous. I've been scrolling on Red Note still and found this video of this city. I can't pronounce the name of the city, but this attraction in the city, in like downtown, it's called Harbin. And just look at this place. This is one of the smaller cities in China. When I say small, it's still a huge city, but it's not one of the big ones. Look at this attraction. And it's got like the Ferris wheel. It's got all these different things in the city of, it's like in the downtown city. And we have nothing like this in America. We are the third world country. And the more I scroll on Red Note, the more I truly believe we are so far behind. Go watch this video.
TikTok refugees, our government absolutely overplayed their hand, and I am living for the nightmare that we've created for them. Because right in the middle of them trying to convince us that we have freedom of speech, they're actually trying to keep us from talking. And so we're going over and talking to new friends, getting curious about each other and learning, oh my gosh, the perception of Americans is actually that we think that we're free, but we're not actually free. Because the decision makers are trying to keep us from understanding the truth about the people in power and how they're going to stay in power by manipulating us into thinking that we're free. This is absolutely a delicious plot line in the U.S. history, and I am living for this. Because the way now that we're sharing what our everyday life is like. Oh, tell us how much your groceries cost, because we can't even afford ours, and we're over here thinking, oh, this is normal. No, this isn't normal. And we're learning about other people's normals and going, what is happening? The government is shaking.
This is just a reminder to everyone to not thank the arsonist for putting out a fire that he started. The TikTok ban was initiated by the Trump campaign and signed by Trump in 2020. It didn't pass the House or the Senate until Biden's administration. And then Biden signed it into law. And then Supreme Court upheld that law, which essentially banned the app throughout America for exactly 12 hours until they put it back online. So this is all political theater. He literally has been campaigning to ban TikTok. If they can't purchase it, then they're gonna ban it. It's extortion. Yeah, it's literally creating a problem and then solving that problem. It's racketeering.
And the reason why I'm so happy about that is because I grew up in Japan. And for the past 20 years, I've been trying to tell people around me, and they just look at me like I'm crazy, that we're behind on technology. Our health system is not, it's jacked up. The justice system is jacked up. The poisons that they're putting in the foods, jacked up, right? Like the tax system, like you name it, America, even the values and how in the culture on how people treat other people. Like I honestly believe that, and I'm thankful for the lessons that I've learned, but I honestly believe that the trauma and torture and lessons that I have learned from people here in America, that I probably, and I'm thankful, but I probably wouldn't have went through a lot of the things that I've went through if I still lived in Japan, because the character and the values of people out there, with the less crime and everything, like it's different. It's different. You can leave a wallet on a train in Japan and it could have your rent money in there, or it can have, a check for your child's tuition or something like that in there, and it will not be stolen. And that says a lot about majority of the people in that country. And in America, unfortunately, that's just not how it is. It is gutta in America. So the huge culture shock that I had to endure still affects me. It still does. And I do miss being out there a lot. And I do, while I'm here, I try to instill those values and things that I learned in Japan to teach my child. So that way we can continue to make the world a better place, because it starts with us, right? So we have to, live with integrity as much as possible and kindness as much as possible. And, try not to litter, because even in Japan, it's just cleaner out there. But the blindfold's being taken off because people are finally seeing the truth on how it is. And
they've been lying to me my whole life. From the food chart they told me as a kid, here's how you eat. Lies, all wrong. From the Native Americans, how they came into this country and what we did to them, all lies. They've been lying to me constantly, and now I realize everything. Not most of it, everything they've been lying to me about. Why should I hate Russia? I don't. Why should I hate China? I don't. And now that I've seen this stuff on Red Note, I have a new motivation in life. I'm 55 years old, and I'm not really motivated anymore, but now I am. I'm motivated to do something exciting and new. From my hero, Bruce Lee, I'm going to learn Chinese. I want to go to China. I want to see for myself all these lies and the poison they've been feeding us all this time. The red dyes, the crappy food, the whole time. They just want me sick. My whole country is run by a pharmaceutical company. Companies run my country. Poor people can't live. They don't take care of the homeless. They don't take care of the veterans. They don't take care of anything. I take care of my...
Can someone please tell me why these $10,000 cars are banned in the US? $10,000, brand new. Let me show you. Okay, you thought that was it? Nah. No. Check this one out. I don't understand, bro. I don't understand. Someone please explain to me why we don't have these cars.
I really think America has made a huge mistake when banning this app, because now that we're all on Red Note, we're actually learning that a lot of the crap that they've been talking about China is absolutely not true. We're like, wait a second, you guys have universal healthcare? You don't have to pay for an ambulance when you get picked up to the hospital. You have amazing cars for very low prices. Huawei, the amazing phones they have, are also so much better than iPhones. And all of that is forbidden here. We cannot have any of that. Wait a second, you can walk at night outside and not be afraid? There's no mass unalivings in schools? What? What's that like? And I had someone comment on my Red Note being like, now that you're here, I hope you can see that we're not the beasts that, you know, your news made us seem to be. And I was like, we never thought you guys were. I feel like we always knew it was bullshit. And yeah, no country's perfect. There's a lot of issues everywhere in this world. But it's very interesting. We're learning much more, I think, than they wanted us to know. And I think that's not a very good idea for our government. Also, I'm shocked by how quickly people are picking up Mandarin. Like, I feel like you guys need to teach me, how do I do this as quickly as you? Because it's incredible. Like, Americans from Alabama are now speaking fluent Mandarin.
So one household at a time, one individual at a time, to continue to try to make changes. You know, we got to get the right people in the right seats. When the right people are in the right seats that have the magic wand to fix a lot of this shit, that's when it's going to happen. So I encourage those that are, you know, of the new generation that are trying to figure out what they want to do in life and whatnot, if being in one of these seats that help with passing laws and whatever else and fixing the justice system or health system or whatever the case might be, I highly encourage that you go and do that. It's, you know, so that way things will start to change, because it's not going to change when the same people are in the same seats. And history will continue to repeat itself over and over and over and over and over again. I think at this point in time, a lot of Americans and just people around the world in general are tired of the drama, tired of the drama, the trauma, the gaslighting, the manipulation, the brainwashing, the violence. I believe there's a lot more people on this planet that want more peace, love, and kindness than what we are shown on the televisions, than what we are taught in the schools, than what, you know, the lies that are taught in school. We all know the truth about Thanksgiving. How pissed off were you when you found out the truth? Like I said, the truth will set America and the rest of this world free onto a better path. And I can't do it by myself. You can't do it by yourself. So it's going to take all of us, all around the world. And governments can learn from other governments with certain stuff, right? Like certain governments, they chop it off if you hurt a child in that way. America, you get a slap on the wrist, you do something like that to a kid, depending on the judge. So like I said, the justice system, there's certain things that need to be enforced. There's certain things that need to be removed. There just wipe it all and clean it up. Wipe it all and clean it up. And when I say wipe it all, that doesn't mean have like another COVID situation to wipe out everybody. No, not no population control bull. We're not trying to do that. There's got to be a better way.
If you're one of those people that are wondering why most Americans just don't want to work anymore, here's a bunch of reasons on why they just don't want to work anymore, and I'm pretty sure the last one's very illegal. I worked for a company for over a year, every Friday to Sunday for the entire duration, and picked up shifts during the week. My dad was diagnosed with cancer, so I called off. So they fired me. P.S. I'm a nurse in an already short-staffed area. They refused to answer my calls and refused to see me when I showed up to the facility. When I worked as a waitress, I got fired because I had a seizure and my mom had to call in sick for me. My boyfriend got fired from Walmart yesterday due to attendance. He was a model employee, just had severe pain from gallbladder issues. He went into his shift for a while, then got fired. I had ankle surgery start of 2019. My boss asked me how long I needed off. Doc said 6 weeks, but I could go back after 1. I stupidly repeated that, and my boss was threatened if I didn't go back after 1. I was a hairstylist and went back with stitches in my ankle and could barely stand or walk. Ankle didn't heal properly, and now I have more problems with it. I quit the year after. I almost got fired because I found out my grandfather has dementia and had been missing for 3 days. He got 70 miles into Kansas when I had to call off work to go get him and his car. Boss said he doesn't believe me. I got let go from a hospital job because I had shoulder surgery and couldn't come back in their made-up time frame. Toxic place to work all around, and they expected me to find people to cover my shifts. Wasn't there a point in time where the boss was the one that had to find another employee to work a shift and not the sick or injured employee? My best friend left work early, with permission, for an emergency doctor appointment and even brought a doctor's note back the next day, and they fired her for not having a good enough reason to leave. My sister was hit by a snowmobile while she was tubing and was rushed to the ICU. Doctor wasn't sure she would survive. Told my boss I needed to fly out to be with her, and my boss asked me if anyone else could go instead. I stared at my boss for a moment, told her no, and walked away from that job. The district manager told me my miscarriage was God's way of telling me I needed to focus on my job. I was a hairdresser. Pretty sure people will be okay if they miss a trim. And at number 10. My job deducts $30 to $50 if you call off on a Monday or request any Monday off by itself. They say it's to cover our health insurance premium they pay for. If you report them to labor relations, they retaliate against you by making your shifts as miserable as possible till you quit so they don't have to pay unemployment. These bosses just hate us. They also have zero empathy. All right, let's go wholesome. I am so thankful for my manager. When I lost my brother, they encouraged me to take time off, even donated for the services. Another time, I hurt my leg and couldn't walk for a week. I got a call every other day just to check on me. I'll throw in one more wholesome. I was in a car accident while biking into work. My boss was so worried about me, they got me a cookie and cake basket and used future earned paid time off to make sure I would be paid while I was out for a month. See that? It's not hard to be nice.
Dental costs in America is insane. Did you know that the money you spend on dental care in America could pay for a fabulous trip to China and will include quality dental care? I have been reading some comments from different videos recent days. Some were really shocking. Like Charlie said here, he spent $7,500 on 1 root canal and 2 crowns. Oh my god. That's about 55,000 Chinese RMB, and that was 3 years ago. Here's a price list from a local dental clinic in my town. You can see that the fees for the same treatment run about $1,500. For the difference, you can get a round-trip ticket to China for about $2,000 and travel for 20 days with a luxury budget of $200 per day. This is why I don't understand. There were so many people arguing with me about whether China needed Luigi or not under yesterday's video. Basic dental care in China is affordable for most people, especially for Americans, and way more cheaper than most Western countries. So next time you have a dental problem, plan a trip to China. Explore our outstanding landscape, enjoy the stunning views, and try our outstanding foods. Most importantly, get your teeth fixed. Again, best wishes to you all, and shout out to Luigi. Please follow me for a different side of China.
But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy all the collective videos that I did come across. And listen to America's voice. This is America's voice. America is speaking out, and I'm ready to share that with you. So like, share, follow, all that good stuff. yeah. Thank you so much for coming to Inner Peace Island, where sometimes it's all bubbles and butterflies, and sometimes we face the bad stuff. You gotta have yin and yang. That's just life. But we want more of the peace. Definitely. There's got to be balance. Balance. It's not balanced.
I hope the government knows, the US government knows that they really messed up on this one. Instead of saying that TikTok is stealing our data, you do know that everybody on TikTok, okay, maybe about 80% on TikTok are going to RedNote. And RedNote is a Chinese-owned app. So, let me get this straight. You want to ban TikTok because you say that it is stealing data, right? But people are literally saying F you and going to RedNote. And also, me and Joanna are also going to RedNote too. You know why? Because people are starting to find each other again. The US government wants to take away our freedom of speech, wants to take away our rights. They want to get rid of this app because they don't like what we talk about. That's why. That's the truth. We are going to be on RedNote, right? Mm-hmm. RedNote it is. So guys, come follow us on RedNote at the Jay and Joe Show because we ain't going nowhere. What are you going to do now, government? You going to ban RedNote too?
Things that make sense in China that wouldn't quite make sense in America. In China, there are so many ways of transportation. Buses, trains, metros, regular taxis, and expensive taxis. And of course, our favorite, the bikes. They only cost 20 cents or so for a 30-minute ride. And speaking of riding bikes, it is super safe to ride them at any time of the night. This is actually us at 1 a.m. in the morning. Another thing that makes sense in China, if you are like me and break your glasses every 2 seconds, you can literally go to any nearby eyeglasses shop and get a new pair for $20 or less. I can't tell you how many times this has saved us while traveling in China. In America, I promise you, a pair of glasses would at least cost us over $200. Another thing that makes sense in China is the high-speed railway system. They literally have bullet trains in every city in China, making it very easy to commute if you are afraid of planes or simply don't feel like taking a plane. But it is worth it anyway because this is a business class seat on a train here in China. Isn't it luxury? In America, you can never get the price we pay for this. And if you thought that wasn't luxury enough, if you are picky about cars you take taxis in, or if you're just bougie, you can literally take a high-end luxury ride to your destination, which typically only costs $8 for a 30-minute ride. Follow for part 2 about things that make sense in China.
Boy, this ban really blew up in the government's face, huh? Everybody went over to RedNote and now they're talking to Chinese people. And they're realizing that, wow, maybe we're being fed propaganda a lot. Now, I grew up in the Midwest, and all you do in the Midwest is get fed propaganda. They spoon feed to us a ton so that we'll either become a farmer or a military member. And you see, once us small town folk leave and go to a bigger area, we learn more things. It didn't take much for me. I went to a university, and when I got there, I met a lot of people from the Chicago area. And it broadened my understanding of different cultures. And then I went to work at Disney World. Now, if you didn't know, Disney World is known for international guests. Also at Epcot, a large portion of the cast members are from international areas. And once I started working there, I learned a few things. First of all, guests from other countries, not counting like Saudi Arabian princes, are 100 times nicer than any American guest you're ever going to get. They're kinder and more understanding. You also start to realize that they can afford to go internationally over to a park and stay for weeks. And then you start learning that like guests from England stay for like a month because they get all that time off. And then you work with people from other countries and they tell you the first thing they noticed about America once they got here is that our technology sucked. They thought we were going to be amazing and they realized that we are so far behind everybody else. Disney World is like a big social experiment, you see. You mix people from all over the world, you put them in a lot of heat, you make them spend a lot of money, and then they go to have fun. And when you do that, you see the hostility that comes from American guests that don't come from international guests. Have I had a jerk or two from a different country? Yeah, but that's like 10%. The West were Americans who believed they deserved more than everybody else, which I can understand because you can't afford to go quite like the international guests can. And now, everybody's seen it. They made us look up. If you're free, tell me why I can't look in my brother's eye. It's because they expect you to keep your head low. Yeah, that's a Hades Town reference. And now we've all stood up and looked around and realized that we're the ones in the soup. We're just like Bugs Bunny. And now we're making the government like Elmer Fudd.
Stay on the red note, TikTok friends. I know the TikTok ban has been lifted, but you should stay. And here's why. Firstly, who knows what Mr. Trump is going to do after the extension? If history's told us anything, it's that things can change overnight. And having a backup option is always smart. Secondly, this is a totally different platform offering different content experience. I think you already know that by now. A lot of my new followers are telling me they love the useful tips, the recipes, the Chinese artistic content. It's like a totally new world. Thirdly, you won't find us on TikTok. So if you leave this platform, you leave us. We are not on TikTok. We use a different version of TikTok called Douyin, and they are independent of each other. So if you have a business, this is a blue ocean opportunity, a fresh, untapped market waiting for pioneers like you. I know I probably sound like a Red Nose spokesperson, but the truth is I don't want you to leave. In just a few days' time, you already brought amazing inputs, amazing vibes, energy to our community. We are directly engaging with each other, talking, sharing, learning together. This is the best thing happened in 2025 so far. I think this is what a true global community should be like. So, please let me know in the comments, are you staying with me or going back to your ex?
So, anyways, I just wanted to share what Americans are saying now that the blindfold is being taken off. And I feel like it's a really good discussion. It really is, because Americans, the system is treating us worse than dogs. Like, they're treating us really bad. They really are. The housing, the inflation, like, it's really bad. And history is starting to repeat itself. And there's a lot of people who are oblivious to this, and they're so trusting. But it's to the point where women can't even make decisions about their own body, no matter what happens. And, in other countries, women couldn't even drive. Like, they weren't allowed to drive. Or in some countries, women aren't allowed to dance or even show their hair, right? So there's a lot of blessings that we have here in America, but America could truly improve in so many areas to make our country better. And there's always room for growth. Like, if America is to be that leader, leaders don't want to stop growing. At least that's what I know. So I really hope that one of these days, and I don't know when, that America really does turn a whole nother leaf in the health, in the health industry, the music and entertainment industry, for that to be cruelty free, our taxes, the foods, the school system, the justice system. There's so much broken, and even construction and stuff. In Japan, the construction that be going on out here in America and Japan, that stuff would have been done like in 2 months. They drag it along, which is fine, because our boys and our women in the construction industry, they need their hours, right? If they get it done, I don't know how Japan is able to continue the turnover for them to continue to have work, because things get done so quickly. And then here, like, it takes like forever for the roads to get done and stuff. But I get it. But yeah, there. I'll end up rambling, but anyways, it starts with us.
Is anybody else tired of living this oops all villain fucking timeline? Because TikTok aside, which is hard to even think because it's just such a recent addition to the growing problem of this shit, but everything I can think of is touched and tainted by a billionaire, from the food I eat to the clothes that I wear to the cars that I have to buy to the fucking rent I have to pay to the schools I have to go to the jobs I have to take. Like, everything is tainted by a billionaire, and not in like a I'm giving money away fucking Scrooge was visited by the three ghosts and now he's making a change for the better type fucking bullshit. I mean, like, everything feels like I'm in the middle of a fucking time traveling movie and the character got erased at the end and he comes back to the future and it's like, oh my God, I can't believe the world is it's so crazy. Take me back. I gotta fix this, doc. Like I'm in the worst Marty McFly fucking timeline and I don't know how to escape. I don't know if somebody has to go back and save the goddamn monkey. Well, the ape. Harambe was an ape. I don't know who has to do it, but I'm just waiting for somebody to appear in a time traveling bubble to learn that this is the world he left behind and go back and fix it, because everything just keeps progressively getting.
I want to show you my house in rural China. My home is a 2-story small bungalow. There is a small yard, planted a kumquat tree that is green all year round. There are some beautiful flowers and plants. We've been doing a lot of festive New Year decorations lately. We like red. It represents luck and hope. This is my living room. A door and window that can be opened by pushing and pulling was installed. When the weather is fine, we open it all up. It's really breathable and comfortable. We put a 100-inch TV on the big white wall over here. It's good to watch movies. This is my open kitchen. I love cooking with my family here. To the second floor, there are 3 rooms and a laundry room. I had the washing machine elevated, so you don't have to bend over the laundry. I especially like the view of my master bedroom. Golden ginkgo trees can be seen in autumn. The roof of the bedroom we made a slow-proof design, but also made a small window you can see the blue sky from the room. That's my share for today. If you like, don't forget to click like and follow me.
When you hear us talking about food prices being astronomical and why fresh produce is, because like this bag of apples will cost me $5. Most of our produce comes in weight by the pound, but this is 97 cents a pound, so I'll probably pay like $1 for this onion. Not only that, but if I were to want to buy a cucumber, say even a small one like a zucchini, let's say a zucchini, this is $1.48 for this zucchini. Well, let's see, let's go even farther. Corn on the cob, we get it like this because it's hard unless you're local to get fresh like that. $4 for 4 years, and it just keeps going on. $3.67 for a bundle of asparagus. $3.67. Yeah, it goes on, and it's crazy. It's very, very crazy. These are the specific reasons why we end up eating mainly processed foods, because at the end of the day, it's just cheaper, because we're all set in this poverty level where we're all driven down, so we can't afford the luxuries of that, which is why you hear a lot of the times of, you know, oh, it's too expensive to eat healthy and get fresh vegetables, because it is here. Anyway, I'll share more if you guys want more. Let me know in the comments.
We have been traveling China for a year now, and let's just say it's been a journey. Let's go back to day 1. The day we found out China was opening to foreigners. We were so curious to find out what the real China was like, regardless of what we thought or what we were told. We wanted to experience coming to China for ourselves, no matter if the outcome was good or bad. We instantly got our visa within 2 days, and surprisingly, it was actually a smooth process. But then, quickly after, it was actually time to go to China. The first day we arrived at our hotel in China, people were actually nice and happy to see us. Now that we got the arrival out the way though, it was pretty much time to see if we could actually operate in China. China's a whole different world, so we pretty much had to figure out how to get around and how to pay for things, until we finally figured out how to order food. We finally realized how easy and convenient it was to get around China, and that is when everything changed. We wanted to see it all, and that's exactly what we're doing. China is such a fun and interesting country to travel around. The people here are very nice, and they're just as human as anyone else in any other country. Everyone's experience may be different, but to this day, we haven't had a bad experience with anyone here. We also felt pretty much lied to about how China was as well. The country of China is so far advanced, it is insane. But although they're making efforts to advance their country every single day, they also have found a way to never forget who they are and what culture they came from. And we love to experience the new and the old things about China. This is only our first year, and we don't expect anything to change, but feel free to follow the journey for more China content.
You think not knowing something is because you're being lied to, rather that you just didn't bother to look it up.
So this is a great point and is oftentimes very relevant, but we're missing something very important in this conversation. A lot of people, myself included, knew that China had some really developed parts of their country, some very futuristic looking infrastructure. The reason why so many Americans feel so betrayed and shocked right now is because literally since birth, we have been indoctrinated to believe that we live in the best country in the world, the most developed, the most stable, the most thriving, and that everyone in the world wants to live in America. We have been told that pretty much every other country is behind what we're doing. That's the lie. And that was and is a deliberate lie. And you know, there are certain numbers that do look really great on our part, but whenever you consider the cost of living and the quality of life that we have in this country, it doesn't matter at that point if our median income is higher. Because if we can't even survive off of the money that we are making, does that money even matter?
You know, I've been living here in China for 16 years, and I feel like that means I should be one of these guys that's out here welcoming all these TikTok refugees that are flooding over to Xiaohongshu. But the fact of the matter is, despite living here for so long, I never signed up for an account. And the only reason I'm signing up for an account now is to see all of the entertainment that's going on with this massive migration from the West. And it's so amazing to see, because I've been telling the story of China on X, formerly known as Twitter, and YouTube for so long. And it's so hard sometimes to get through to people and to convince them that what they have been told about China is completely false. There's all sorts of shadow banning and tweaking of the algorithm that makes it an uphill battle. So to see this attempt from the very governments that try to control your perception on countries like China blow up in its face by trying to ban TikTok, and then suddenly everybody is rushing over to a platform where they can have conversations directly with Chinese netizens and ask all of their deepest curiosities about China, or ask what they got wrong about China, is absolutely amazing. It's hilarious, it's ironic, it's going to be educational, and it's just so cool to see people coming together. I have a friend here in China who is a doctor, a very respected doctor, the head of an oncology department in a massive hospital. The day that the migration happened, he sent me a message and he said, "What's going on? Why are there so many foreigners all of a sudden signing up for Xiaohongshu?" And when I explained to him what happened, he laughed and said, "Oh my God, this is hilarious. I'm going to spend 2 hours a day just welcoming people." So if you're wondering if it is organic, this engagement, it absolutely is. Everybody in China, even in the little villages, I've been asking people, I've been asking family, everybody knows about what's going on, and it's absolutely hilarious to see. So to everybody, welcome, even though I guess you should be welcoming me because many of you signed up for an account before I did. Have fun and make sure you learn a lot about China.
Hi, I'm American cousin of my Chinese sisters. It's Roxy Cat, your sassy cat sister over here. First of all, I have a question. Is life in America this hard? So during my live stream, somebody was asking me, where do I keep my shoes? I was like, outside of my door. If I leave my shoes outside of the door, it won't be stolen. What's those stinky shoes? And then the grandfather says his grandson's Christmas gift got stolen in the post office. How did y'all got stolen in the post office? And that's a Christmas gift. That is so sad. I can buy some for that kid. And then a lot of y'all was asking me if made in China means low quality. Here is a question. Is it possible that your merchant choose the cheapest product yet the highest margin so that they can make more money from y'all? Made in China is cool right here. So if you look at my earrings, am I beautiful today? Thank you. It's from Taobao, it's 99 cents. It's not branded. And then if you look at my top, body yada yada. So $3 is from Taobao too, no branded. It's not made in cotton, but yeah, hey, it's $3. And then there's skincare. I swear to God, Chinese skincare is amazing. And then take my skincare as an example. Let's say this Ruby eye cream. Look at the packages. It's looking good. And I've been to CVS before. A small question, why do y'all need to lock all of your eye cream? Is this special eye creams? Because what I got is anti-aging, anti-wrinkle, and brightening. And a fun fact, a Chinese woman loves to study our ingredients. The one that I have right now is with retinol and a booster. That's why your girl looks pretty. My eyes aren't dry, but I don't have wrinkle as well. And then somebody will say, what about animal abuse? If you think about it, why would you test the eye cream on a wrinkly monkey? As far as I know, they perform 28 days of legit human trials. Like medicine. Made in China means made with science. And the price is around $40, $30. So an Uber ride for you. But hey, if you ever come to China, come to me. This is my gift for you, okay? And welcome to China. Experience everything that made in China, you know? Me, fabulous person, the scientific products, everything.
I really think that American and Chinese people should be nominated for the Person of the Year 2025. Because we turn the concept of the global village into reality and we bring the internet world back to what it should be together. Then we communicate with each other with interest and curiosity. Then we know we are different and we are eager to know what the differences are. And then we show those differences to each other. We both respond like, wow, that's cool. We didn't deny the difference. We accept that. And we haven't done that for a long time. When you found out that China is different from what you've been told, you didn't make a quick conclusion that we lied to you. You guess you know we're coming and you fake it. That is what usually happens on the internet. This time, you see with your eyes, you update your conclusion, and you even feel sorry for what you thought before. And that's why we treat you well back. When I found out that we Chinese people are described with so many good words, I just want to do anything I can to make you feel good in return. 这谁说的我这夸奖呢? When we find that your cooking methods are limited, we provide as many recipes as we can. We didn't judge your cooking method or argue whose recipe is better like what always happens on the internet. We just provide other options for you and expect that you can have good experience with our cooking method. What we did to each other is rare in the internet world, but has been expected for so many years in our minds. We tag each other at the very beginning so that we know where to start the communications. You American, me Chinese. We begin with the tag, but we didn't end with it. We're open to each other and get to know each other, and we get closer and closer. Instead of tags, we treat each other as lively human beings. I feel so happy that we made it, and I am so proud of being one of us, the villagers of the global village.
Oh my god, TikTok refugees, it hurts my brain, literally. I post a video about my sweatshirt. The people comment there saying the capitalism in the United States society complains about in China there's child labor. There's no child labor in China. We have more than enough adults to work. And they says, oh, if we're shopping in Shein or Temu, it's those products is cheap. So it's like the worker has no enough money to live. 90% of Chinese workers in China, they are able to have saving monies every month. So you get my point. That is completely lies. There's so many lies in the United States about China, and when I read those things, it's really hurting my brain. It's like how, why, so ridiculous.
Refugees. I swear to God, this is the most funny shit I've ever seen since Brexit. Okay, so my name is Roxy Cat, your cat sister here. I'm a little bit popular here. And clearly, I'm one of the people that you don't need translation to understand. Yes, since I've been here for so long, so trust me when I say this should be your little retina 101. So we Chinese people, we are really kind and heartwarming. You're gonna see us welcoming people everywhere, but there are just some certain types of people that we don't welcome at all. First of all, if you ever think Panda Express is the most delicious Chinese food, get the fuck out of here. Second of all, if you can't tell the difference between a dragon and a long, you got 5 seconds to learn and report to me immediately. Third, if you ever dare to mix us up with Japanese or Korean, you'll be put into the plague zone immediately. Unless that we messed up and pretend that we're Korean ourselves. Yeah, a few things. Don't say any shit about our country. It's the key to respect. But hey, if you want to talk about yours, it's okay. You're already refugees now. And we're all friendly, so use more emojis to avoid conflict. Here is one that we all love to use. For those of you who don't understand, this means bizarre. Like the fact that you're here listening to me right now. And learn some Chinese, respect the Chinese culture, I think we'll be fine. Just imagine that you're in my home and all I can hope is nobody's shit in my living room.
Hello, American friends.
The third letter to my American friends. Many of you have asked me whether there are a lot of taxes in China. I'll explain based on my own situation. In China, I'm in the lower middle class. I graduated from college in 2016, and my monthly income at that time was around 5,000 to 6,000 yuan. At this income level, there's no need to pay taxes in China. This income has a purchasing power equivalent to about $2,500. In 2022, the 6th year of my work, my annual income was 700 yuan, with a purchasing power equivalent to $350,000. Taking into account tax-free allowances such as for renting a house and supporting parents, I finally paid 200,000 yuan in taxes. If I get sick or have children, the tax amount will be further reduced on this basis. Now, I've been working for 8 years. In 2024, I set up a personal studio. My annual income is 1 million yuan with a purchasing power equivalent to $500,000, but I don't pay any taxes at all. This is because the government encourages us to start businesses. For personal studios, if the annual income is within 1.2 million yuan, it's tax-free, with a monthly tax-free allowance of 100,000 yuan. Our 5 basic insurances, including medical insurance, pension insurance, unemployment insurance, work-related injury insurance, and maternity insurance, must be paid by the company for employees. It's about 1,000 yuan per month. The company and the employee each pay half. There's also the Housing Provident Fund, which is 400 yuan per month. Again, the company and the employee each pay half. The Housing Provident Fund can be used when we buy or rent a house. It provides a low-interest loan of up to 600,000 yuan, with an interest rate of 3% and a maximum loan term of 30 years. If you don't want to buy or rent a house, you can withdraw the Provident Fund at any time. These are the minimum standards that companies are required to pay. As long as an employee has provided labor to the company, these must be paid. Even if there's no labor contract, the company still has to pay. There's no way to avoid it. If a company dares not to pay, you don't need to hire a lawyer. Just call the government's Labor Arbitration Bureau. Someone will handle it immediately. The Labor Arbitration Bureau will contact the company and demand payment. If the company doesn't pay, it will be directly fined after arbitration, and the money will be compensated to the employees, usually 2 to 3 times the amount that should be paid. The process is very fast and will be completed within 2 months. Usually, it doesn't take that long and can be resolved in a few days. The above-mentioned insurance and Provident Fund are the minimum payment standards. You can pay more, but generally, companies only want to pay according to the minimum standards. Only some large companies will pay more. My wife works for a big internet company. She pays 7,000 yuan for the Housing Provident Fund every month, and the company and she each pay half. My American friends, do you have a lot of types of taxes? I've heard there are many strange taxes. Can you tell me about them? Oh, by the way, some friends have asked me if they can forward or use my videos and portraits. Here, I'd like to clarify that as long as it doesn't violate the law and doesn't harm the interests of others, I freely authorize the working people around the world to use my videos.
Peace.
Has anyone else taken the time to translate the community guidelines on RedNote? Because I am shocked. I'm gonna show you the translation, but I was looking because I was concerned that maybe I was being a little impulsive with downloading it and posting on there. I'm like, ooh, I should really look at what the rules are because I don't want to get in trouble with the Chinese government. I was expecting a lot of logistical things, kind of like our guidelines, like very logistical, very cut and dry to the point. There
is so much humanity. Like, just, oh my God. It's so different than our guidelines. Okay, so there was like some logistical things, right? But wealth is hard to come by and it is scarce for most people. Therefore, if you have relatively more wealth, please have empathy in the process of sharing consumption, take the initiative to consider the feelings of others, avoid waste, and respect workers and service workers. The Little Red Book community has a large number of content to share the consumption process and results to provide reference and suggestions for everyone. So, whether it is useful to others will be an important criterion for judging the behavior of showing off wealth. This part is what really got me. Please encourage ordinary people to speak and share. The Little Red Book community is still growing and more users will pour in. They come from different regions and have different social and educational backgrounds. Even if their life experience and creative ability may be temporarily different from those of professional creators, it does not mean that they cannot contribute good ideas. It is the core value of the Little Red Book community to welcome, encourage, and tolerate the speech sharing of newcomers and ordinary people. Please don't be stingy to express your love through likes, follows, and other behaviors. They also encourage people to not over-edit their videos and be deceptive about the way that you look or the editing process when it comes to the beautification of anything. If your sharing involves others, please adhere to the principle of voluntariness and respect the privacy, portrait, reputation, and other right of others. If your sharing involves the deceased, please take the initiative to consider the dignity and privacy of the person concerned and his family. If your sharing involves vulnerable groups, please sympathize with the other party's situation to the greatest extent and maintain the dignity of the other party. Please respect the content shared by users. Respecting others and their achievements is a basic prerequisite for communication between people. Please treat and share sincerely with friendly interaction. In interaction with others, no reason can be used as an excuse for misconduct or rudeness. The respect and protection of dignity is something that is so not present in American culture. Every sharing that is useful to you has paid a considerable and creative cost, and the sharer must have invested a lot of time and energy. When you ask for more specific experiences and suggestions through comments or private messages, please express your clear gratitude regardless of whether the other party's reply really answers your question. Don't be a reach-out party and don't regard the sharer as a tool. Please don't maliciously speculate on the motivation of the sharer. Please think from another's perspective and communicate in a friendly way. There are a large number of users in the Red Book community, and it is normal for everyone to interact with people from different backgrounds. Different users usually form different views and opinions, and the same thing due to different facts and different positions. Moreover, experience sharing is a common behavior in the Little Red Book community, which usually shows a certain degree of subjectivity and tendency, which is also the objective law of such content creation. If the content of the share does not match your experience and views, please try to restore the sharer's situation first and sympathize with his mood before commenting. That wasn't even all of it, but this video is getting long, and